round table, but
That's what I
I
thought.
mostly put it on so I wouldn't forget.
Yeah, yeah. No, we'll,
I mean, not that I would forget, but I want to make sure I had it.
we'll get through our opening and then.
Yeah.
And then just a reminder to everybody before we get started, please make sure to use your microphones. We've had an influx of people tuning in and watching these later online. And if you don't use your mic, even though you can hear each other in the room, it will not pick up on the recording for later. And for the new people who are not familiar with the microphone, the red button, if you press it and it pops up, that is on. If it is depressed as it is now, you're off.
Testing.
And then the microphones are directional. So if it's off on the side, even though you're close to it, it won't pick it up. So make sure you're right in front of it. That's completely up to you. If you remember to turn it on and off, some people like to do that. If it's easier to just leave it on, you can do that too. The biggest thing is just make sure you're in front, because as soon as you get off to the side, it's gone, even though you're just as close to it.
Great example.
We are good. Welcome, everybody, to the August 20th City of Sweet Home Park and Tree Committee meeting. How about we call this meeting to order and let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah.
All right. Roll call?
Want to do it this time? I can do it. I'll do it then.
Okay, Angela's turn.
Member Jones.
Here.
Okay. Make sure you're in your. Here. Thank you. Member Swanson.
Here.
Member Bechtel.
Present.
Member Tucker.
Present.
Member Patton.
Here.
And Member Northern.
Here.
Wally did call and say that he wouldn't be here, so his absence is excused.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Time reports. I did turn in our time report to Angela from the health fair, but if anybody has other time logged for projects,
I usually email her.
okay, make sure you get in touch with Angela so we can record those. And we have many meeting minutes to review from our July meeting. So everybody take a quick moment and take a look at those.
Just a note on the minutes, there is one amendment that will have to be made under the meeting minutes voting. It shows member Swanson voted. That should have been member Shreves because Scott was not here yet. So if you see down below, it says absent. Scott didn't come in until after that vote, so that will need to be amended. So if you approve it, that just approved with changes.
Quite a busy meeting.
I know that we're supposed to read them in advance, so I make a motion to approve the minutes with the, how do I say it?
Correction.
Correction.
I second that.
Okay.
All right. Our meeting minutes have been approved and seconded.
Member Tucker, all in favor?
All in favor?
I,
Was getting
Sorry,
there.
I thought you were gonna skip it.
No,
Pardon me.
All opposed? Okay, our meeting minutes from July have been approved with the corrections as noted. And public comment? Do we have anybody online for public comment?
Not currently.
Okay. Okay, nothing today. So before we jump into anything else, and I know it's listed under new business, but I do want to introduce our new Park and Tree member, Melanie. Do you want to take a moment and say hello? Tell us a little bit about you, not to put you on the spot.
Well, that's putting me on the spot, especially when I'm getting used to microphones. Hello, I'm Melanie. I don't know, what would you like to know?
How long have you lived in Sweet Home?
I've lived here for 27 years. We raised both our kids here. They are now grown up and out of state, but we get to go visit them, which is nice. I joined because I just love recreating in natural spaces, and I just have a passion for that and wanted to chip in and volunteer and help.
Well, welcome. We're glad to
Thank
have
you.
you.
And she's also
Morning.
my neighbor across the street and has a beautiful yard. So she fits perfectly into that. She was either going to do beautification or parks,
Or both. We'll
or
see.
both. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, speaking of beautification, Candy, do you want to give us an update?
No,
Not yet.
Okay, mine was opposite. When you press it in, it turns on. Okay. Well, we actually did have a meeting this month on the 14th, and there were 4 of us there. Patty Hulk was available. She is here once in a while. She comes up. So on our, I didn't get an official minutes yet. Rebecca was there and she was going to do the minutes, but I can go over a little bit. The one thing I was concerned about was we've had like anywhere from 7 to 9 volunteers on the weeding, and the last weeding we only had 4, which made it really tough. It was that really hot day that we had it, the hot streak. So, you know, and they weren't too bad, but just our volunteers seemed to be, you know, having surgeries and, you know, just going camping, things like that. So we didn't have as many that time. I'm, let's see. I'm thinking that we are going to pull the petunias in at the second time in September, which would be September 23rd. Last year, I believe it was September 24th that you pulled the weeds, or I mean the petunias. That was kind of a surprise. So I wanted this year to have us decide ahead of time when we're going to do it. And then usually, Lena, are you available that day?
The 23rd?
The 23rd of September.
Yes, I can be available that day.
Okay, because we would need help with the shrubs, like
Looking at the
pruning and
shrubs.
pulling. There's some that are dead.
Okay.
And I won't be here, so I'll try to put somebody else in charge of that. Also, we're kind of doing a wait and see on August 26th to see if we need to pull weeds. We might try, if we can, do it on September 2nd. I know that's the first day of school, but that might be the better day to do our final weeding. let's see. The other thing in October, October 14th, we would like to plant tulip bulbs. And I talked to Cecily and she said we still have money in the budget to buy tulip bulbs. We also were thinking of giving a tulip bulb to people that stop by our booth at the Harvest Festival.
Good.
So that's something new that we're thinking of doing this year. We did agree to do the red, white, and blue. We had heard that that was a preference for this year, or for next year, sorry. The blue is a little bit iffy because petunias don't usually come in blue. Like I got the blue tiara this year, but it's purple, you know, so maybe Sylvia or something like that instead of a petunia would work. We really need to work on Clover Park. Monday, 3 of us went and weeded Clover Park, and it's just, we need to do something so that it's not so much on a slope, and that we will get more plants for that area next year because there weren't enough, and it's yeah, and it kind of shows. But we'd kind of like to either put something in at the bottom there, so that we don't have to go in that area. It's dangerous for the workers, and it's also the water just drains off. So, and we need new soil in that area. We just really, that needs to be worked on. Shea Point's doing great. As far, last time I saw it anyway, it was just filled all in and it looked good. So, and the weeds haven't been a problem there. The other area that needs a little work is Highway 228 because it's, I don't know. We were talking maybe just some perennials instead of putting in the petunias in that area with the baskets, you know. If we have any money for shrubs, that would be an area, and maybe some shrubs at Clover Park too. Let's see. I have some people to talk to about different things. Patty had 4 benches that she had at her house, and she brought them here to the city, and they're available to put places. They're in pieces, but she put them back behind here, and she was thinking maybe one at 4th and Oak Terrace. Anyway, that's an idea. She also wondered how the Alice Grovum Memorial bench was coming along, and so I need to talk to Dominique about that, and what the plans are for that. And the last, we also talked about the pots that are in the back here, that we could use those for winter, and I have an idea of a person who would be really great at or a few people that could decorate those up, and we could have them either on Long Street or Main Street like we used to. There used to be a person that did that, and we haven't done it for a couple of years. So that was another idea. And we will have a booth at the Harvest Festival. I won't be here, so I'll put somebody else in charge of that.
Ashley's going to be there.
Yeah, we need to make sure one person is in charge. We had a little bit of
Yeah.
problem last time with too many chiefs and not
Yeah.
enough Indians. So I'm sorry, that's not politically correct. But anyway, yeah,
Andy, if you can just, when you figure out who the contact is, have them contact me because I'll need to put it in my list so I know who to contact with
Okay.
the final package.
Okay.
I usually send it out the week before, so.
yeah. And the main thing, we just want people to sign up to to volunteer, especially for planting in May, because it was good having 20 people, but even then it took us 2.5 hours to do it. So if you're out there for 2.5 hours, it wears on you. So, okay.
So Candy, just to let you know, yeah, we're one of those that camped a lot, and then I had my foot in a boot for 4 weeks, so that's why we couldn't get there. But for Ashley and I to help out, actually September 2nd would be best for us. Tyson doesn't go to school there; he goes to a different school. But
Okay, I'll check with Public Works, and if that works, I think we'll go with that.
yeah,
Okay.
that would be better for
Yeah.
us.
Okay.
And then just to confirm, so you're thinking September 23rd is the pull all the flowers and kind of put it to bed?
Yeah, they're not looking as good right now because of all the rain, I think kind of, they'll come back some, but
Yeah.
they're not gonna last till October. We know that, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Glad you were here. Okay, moving on to old business. Ivy removal. So if you remember at last meeting, we had members of the public come in, interested in ivy removal, interested in helping, if we
Mhm.
can come up with an actual date and event. And I believe Deb, you volunteered to take a look at Northside Park
Yes,
for
I
a new
did.
location. Do you have a report for it?
Sure, I do. There, well, my second trip back to Northside, first trip I wasn't seeing that much, but there's probably a good 15 trees in all actuality that could use a trimming, but just get them at the bottom before they're fairly easy to get to because there's briar around them. There's 2 trees that are pretty back in that trail down on the bottom that goes back in there. Yeah.
So it's down over the edge towards the river.
It would be on the bank.
Okay. on the
It's
bank,
not,
yeah.
yes, it'd be down.
Yeah, on the river
And when you
side.
get down
Okay.
there, you go straight to
Yeah.
your left,
So that is something
hiding back in there. And then there's
manageable.
2 of them I took some pictures of. You got those pictures, yeah.
Okay.
And 2 little tiny ones that are it's just really climbed up
Okay.
just as you go down there. So then you turn around and there's a couple of big ones that have, yeah, and over by the neighbors, clear down the other end, there's 3 fairly good sized ones that have some obvious growth, only about 3 feet up, but won't be long.
Okay. So it sounds like that could be a candidate for an event, short event. to
Yes,
Get
that
some
would be
folks
great.
in there. I think last meeting we talked about waiting till we got kind of through the heat of summer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're in for another heat wave.
Yes,
So maybe
yeah.
we look at that and kind of everybody take a look at their schedule. And when we come back in September, we can pick an event
Sounds
date and
good.
get that out to the public.
Yes.
Sound good? Good. Thanks for looking at that, Deb.
Yeah.
Sankey Park Phase 3. Yes, so we are going to put the RFP out for the trail system. Blake Patterson is helping me work on that because I've never done the RFPs, so he's putting that together for me for the trail system. We have met, I don't know if we've met since the last time we went to council, but they approved a special procurement so we can separate the bandstand bidding from the trail system. So we are now working with the Timber Framers Guild. I have secured an architect who is so far willing to donate her time to help us with the design. Once she comes up with some designs, staff will take a look and determine which one will work best with the in the area. So hopefully we'll get that soon. And then once the design happens, we will figure out the contract and take it back to council to approve the contract. And then we will start working toward getting the bandstand done. So it probably is not going to get done until next spring at this point because they have a couple projects coming up, so they won't be able to. But it should be a pretty fun community-based project. So we're all really looking forward to it. So, but that's where we're at right now. So we are much farther ahead than we were. So when do you think an appropriate time would be for kind of a public announcement, a news article, just something to? Not until we're ready. So what happens is once we get the contract signed, they send me information about how it all works, like scheduling and how we gather community members. So they can only have a certain amount of volunteers, but there will be other things to do. And they're going to get me that whole process. So once we have all that approved, one of their other contacts will send me kind of the timeline of what we need to do when,
who we call out for certain things. And so,
Okay.
so they have it all.
So it's a whole laundry list
Yep.
of how to go through this with
Yep.
the community. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. And they set it all up and they work with us and moving forward and, you know, getting the donations or getting the help and getting the volunteers. And so they kind of go through that whole process with us when we get to that point. So
Okay.
How did you find them?
they actually came to us.
Cool.
Lon, Tyler, I think is his last name. I should look it up. He actually lives here in Sweet Home and he came 2 years ago, I think, up to the counter and just was talking to us about projects and, you know, their timber framing projects. And we just happened to remember, I was like, I remember there's some that came. And so we got a hold of him and kind of started this whole process. So
That's cool.
yeah, so and they're really, you know, their projects. You can go on their website, you know, just Timber Framers Guild, and you can go look at all they don't just do projects in Oregon. There's a gazebo in Idaho that I've been in multiple times that I didn't know they built and
That's cool.
found that out. And there's some in Washington and there's quite a few here in Oregon too. So I would, you know, recommend going on their website and taking a look at what they do in their community builds. So, but so far it's been a really positive experience. And as staff, we're excited because they're also going to do some, you know, different classes and stuff along with it to show people how some of this works. So it's
good.
It'll be fun.
And a little side note, my husband always reads obituaries. I already told these guys. But he noticed that the last few people give money to the Phase 3 project in the obituaries. Scott probably remembers that, posting it. But anyway, so I thought, and then at the health fair, a lady came up to us and she said that she gives money every month with her water bill. And I know we've been doing that in our family for a long time. So, you know, people are aware. We just have to, like Lena said, get a little more information out there. Keep it coming, people.
No, this will be an exciting community event once we're ready to
Good.
jump.
Well,
into
and part of the benefit, besides just the quality of work and craftsmanship that's going to go into this, is that where we are struggling right now is the match. We still have very little in match. And so, however, like the architectural services, if she donates all of her services, that's a match. That's an in-kind match. So, and any of the donations or if any of the contractors donate their time, or even if they just discount their time, that's considered match. So hopefully just the bandstand itself and that whole community process will actually help us reach our match. It's mostly probably going to be in-kind, not monetary, but we still need to have that somehow. So I'm crossing my fingers that will help us gain that the amount of match that we need. So
Yeah, me too. It's not like we all didn't try. I never tried so hard to collect money.
I think that'll be kind of an important piece of the communication is describing, you know, how the project is being funded and the need for match, whether it's in kind or cash. Just kind of keep that information flowing to the public. Yeah. No, that's great. Good stuff. Any other questions on Phase 3? Okay, moving on to health fair. Let Nancy or Matthew describe health fair.
It was great.
It was great. We every time we hand out the maps, we always get compliments on them, and
Yes.
people really appreciate those. They might need to be updated. I'm
Yeah,
not
it
sure.
does.
So, yeah.
it does. And the person who originally designed it, I spoke with actually yesterday, and she has the program. And so she told me if I need to, I can just send it to her and she can just do the updates and she has the
Legea.
program. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we actually, funny enough, we discussed that last night.
That's cool.
So
I think, Lena, you do a great job getting the activity stuff, the Smokey the Bear and the Woodsy Owl for little to no cost, which is great since we have no budget.
That's right. And the fans and everything that we thought was a yo-yo ended up being a
Pencil sharpener.
pencil sharpener. But yeah, it was good. And we were first when you walked in the door. I have a picture. I sent it to you. Somebody wants it. I think Scott, somebody from your business took a picture. I don't know if you've seen it, but anyway, yeah, it was good. A lot of people. happy. And like Matthew said, the maps are awesome. They really, really, really like that. So
Speaking of the maps, and I'm always thinking of a way we can measure how many people we do outreach with. And the maps might actually be the key. What do you think if we were to kind of pre-count out how many maps we put on the table, and then we can measure how many outreaches we had by the number of maps we hand out. But we
Yeah.
have to count them before we put them on the table so we know. Would that be helpful?
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to, we just hand maps out, but I'm like, well, how many people did we actually engage? Because if we're handing them a map, we've engaged them in some way. So,
Yeah. We actually had people from out of town too.
yes, we did.
And we said, if you go out that door, go across that white bridge, that's Sankey Park. So that was pretty cool to have an out of towners wanting to know stuff.
I did have the maps on the table last night and I had quite a few people take maps
Pick them
last
up.
night.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, we actually had somebody from, I think, Lebanon said they preferred coming here for Sankey. So we are in the spotlight.
Then
But-
somebody wanted to know about renting, having an event there. We told them to get a hold of you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a good outreach. The connection that we've always had. I know it's the health fair, but we've got a few handouts on outdoor recreation and health and the benefits of outdoor recreation and getting outside. And so I think it's a nice blend. And then as Matthew said, our giveaways are kind of designed for the kids who are getting the backpacks. So it's back to school. So they're getting pencils and pencil sharpeners and rulers and carabiners for their water bottles.
And we talked a little bit about maybe having another contest for kids to make so we could make our own stuff to hand out, like
Like their own color sheets.
that might be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And it was really good to see Bob. He's doing really well. That was really made us all feel good. He said he really misses us. So I was sad, but anyway, yeah, he's doing good. He stayed there the whole time, walking around, talking with people. Said his health is doing really, really good.
So fun day.
It was.
Thank you. Joining in. And thank you to Gabriella for helping out too.
They did move it indoors. The only thing that I heard a negative was the people that had the clothes. What's it called? Love Aid, something like that. Anyway, they said they didn't give away hardly any clothes this year because it was inside. When it was outside in the parking lot, they gave away a lot. So at the end, they were telling us to come take stuff. So I was out there taking. And I went back in my purse and my chair just sitting there, and these guys were gone. I said, "What?" Anyway.
Everybody was
But yeah, it was a good event.
It was
It's
a
a
good
real
day.
positive
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, and it was nice that with the rain that day that they could very quickly set us up and move us into the activity gym. So I think that worked out well. Okay, moving on to the Ames Creek Restoration Project. I believe that's Greg. For any updates?
There was not really an update from last time. We're still kind of in that
Okay.
holding pattern. We already mowed. We've cleared a lot of brush out there. We've chipped a lot of things. We've had a company come in and do some chipping for us. We ordered the silage tarps, which we have received, and they're at Public Works. I think the plan is we'll probably mow one more time just to get that down a little bit more, and then put those tarps across the majority of the square footage of that area come, I would say, the end of this September, I think, somewhere early October, but I think the end of September we'll get those down. And then the spraying of the blackberries around the open areas will occur at that same time. What's that?
We have sprayed.
And so we've already sprayed one, but we'll spray again in the fall. That helps knock the briars back. And so that's the plan. And then those tarps will stay on there for a year. And so once we get to the end of September and that work occurs, my updates are going to be pretty minimal. We're just going to let, nature take its course, let it kill off a lot of the grass seed and other briars that are underneath that area. And then we get to replant, and that'll be the next phase of it.
That'd be fun. Are the tarps black? Are they white? I'm just curious.
They're on site. I
Okay.
haven't seen them.
Okay.
And it came on a pallet. I was expecting a roll like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
at a baseball game when it rains, they roll out the whole infield. I was expecting something like that. How are we going to handle it? But I guess it's on a pallet. They're thin sheets and you can just lay them out like cardboard.
And secure them, stake them down or something, staples, yeah.
Logs,
Oh, okay.
whatever
Yeah.
we have.
Rocks.
And we do have a pile of, stuff that we've trimmed up that we can use for that as well.
Yeah.
So
So looking ahead to when it's finally ready for planting, is there opportunities for the community to engage in that or volunteers? Or what do you think?
I hadn't thought that far, and maybe Angela knows a little bit more inside the Watershed Council since she.
So we're partnering with South Sandy and
Okay.
Watershed Council. So when we get to that point and we start talking about, the planting process, we can, entertain that at that time. So they have a lot of experience in this mitigation part of it. And so we're kind of leaving it up to them to kind of help us guide us on when to do and what to plant. So as we get closer, I mean, obviously, as Greg says, the material is going to stay down for about a year just because reed canary grass and blackberry are both, very hard to get rid of. And so once I guess we evaluate the success of that and then we'll start coming up with a planting plan and then a maintenance plan. So, but we'll definitely keep you guys informed as that process goes. It's going to be a multi-year
Yeah.
process just because of the grass and the blackberry, but
And to add to that as a discussion, there is a small area within this footprint that is going to be higher than marsh kind of elevation. And so with some sort of a little pedestrian bridge or walkways to that, it can be a space that can be usable with, some tables and picnic tables, other things, but the vegetation is really nice. It's kind of secluded. But it could add, if we could bring an entrance somehow from Sankey Park, it would just add to that. And maybe that's what you guys, once we get to that point of what we want to do with that little space. And it's literally a teardrop that kind of connects to Ames Creek. And we'd have to figure out to, get from Sankey to Ames, that side of things. But that would be probably a good focus for the group, I think, after we get into this year period. So.
Okay. Great. Okay, next up, Harvest Festival.
so ads went out in all the papers this last week for Harvest Festival itself, but also for the chili and the pie cook-off. So those will be coming out. I just got an email from the radio stations. I'll probably do that again. I have not had anybody sign up for pie yet, but I had a lot of people. I had printed these off last night, had them on the table, and I did have people take some of them last night. So hopefully that will start picking up. Usually I don't get a lot of people sign up to the last minute, so I don't really panic at this point. But just keep that in mind, that reach out to people that might want to make pie. And I did print some of these off if anybody wants to grab them. I printed just some general ones off too. But everything's coming along. We'll do the same thing as we always do. I think you guys have it down of how to split it up if we get 500 pies. And so I will leave that part of it up to you guys. I will probably in another couple of weeks start pulling all the supplies out. Actually, I'll probably do it in about another week because I have to start ordering stuff, but probably pull all the supplies out. If there's things that you think that you want different than what we've gotten in the past, let me know. But again, I probably won't get to it at least for another week before I go out and pull everything out and see what's in there. So, and then I'll go through my list. I have a list every year that I do of what we have left over at the end of last year. So then I can see what I need to order for this year. So, but if there's other things, just let me know.
So Angela, the game that we used to borrow from the Jamboree, you see it's up for bid on the auction site. If the city wants to maybe purchase that.
Are you talking about the Connect Four?
Yeah.
Library has one.
Oh, okay.
So we will grab the libraries once in a while. The library has one.
And anything that you would like to purchase and donate to the city is also on the table.
stuff. I thought, oh my gosh. Only thing I remember is that we just kind of wanted to be moved in a different, I think it was too hot. Yeah.
I really don't have another place to put you, so
Oh,
that's, I
okay.
mean, we are
Maybe-
so full, that's about, I had to move the chili to a different spot because we have
Right.
so many food vendors that are interested, and so now that parking lot's food vendors, and then the chili is kind of in front of the hut now.
Yeah.
So I really don't have any other place to move you, so
Yeah, I think it
unfortunately.
was by the
It was
afternoon, the sun, we were like trying to move the pies out of
Yeah,
the
it's
sun.
hard.
I do have walls for those pop-ups, but I don't want to really wall you in, so.
It's true.
If
But
there is
You
any
would turn it
breeze,
around the
it's
other way.
water with the walls on because you don't get the breeze.
Well, I have a couple of pop-ups. If we need to put a couple more up. That's another,
Yeah.
Jamboree's selling their,
I mean, the only other thing I can think of is you have the one pop-up where you put the tables, but then putting pop-ups in front of that so
Yeah.
that you have more shade not
what I
coming
Maybe
in.
that's it. Maybe
That's what I'm
shade
thinking.
where
Because I
people
can-
come up to the table.
Yeah.
So
Did
that,
we have you guys completely in the grass, or were you on the,
no, I think
Completely in the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so if, I was trying to remember,
But if we put
because
up-
sometimes I do order a tent. We're trying to cut costs a little bit, but I was still going to order one large tent. What I could do is just order one that's a little wider for you guys, and then you wouldn't have to put up multiple single tents. So I'll look and see. I think I gave you guys a 20 by 20 maybe, or 20 by 10, couple of those. So I might be able to order just a bigger tent so you don't have to put up multiple ones
yeah,
up front.
because yeah, if we have a pop-up and, you know, where people stand to get served the pie,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that would add more shade that way.
The pies wouldn't be hitting that way.
We were just cooking the pies again.
Yeah.
But then you never know, you know, this year it could be.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No,
Well,
it's not
Wally's not here
that.
to tell us, but
Yeah. Well, I said it's not going to rain.
the rule
Well,
is we don't talk about.
We had rain during the safety fair and the
Yeah.
health fair.
Which was odd, having 100
Yeah,
plus week.
yeah.
That's crazy.
But the
I
parade
typically,
was
yeah,
nice.
I typically get a little rain like the day before.
Mhm.
'Cause
Yeah.
usually when I'm marking the grass, it's always wet and it's always frustrating when I have to do that. But so far, knock
It'll
on
be
wood.
just fine. It'll be
That's right.
a lovely harvest festival. And we do have a meeting before that, so then we can really dial in on duties and meeting times and everything else. And it's a lot of fun. So
We,
for a new member, have you?
we actually will be out of town
Oh,
that week,
well,
already,
okay.
already planned.
Okay.
Next
That's
year,
all right.
Next year.
Just make a pie and leave it.
And so our fundraising, we've decided we'll go towards, is it Weddell Bridge? Is that what we're normally putting this towards? Okay. Thus putting us by the bridge. Okay. Okay, we've tackled new business with welcoming Melanie. So let's move into roundtable discussion. I have one item, which is our tree water bags, and I think I sent you a note earlier in July about things were looking good, and we've had a few drops of rain since then. But overall, Sean, what do you think? And I know we're in now for another heat wave of 3 or 4 days of 90 plus, but
They've definitely helped. The little dogwood near the bank at Sankey is struggling, so I don't know why it's got the water schedule as the others, and it does also get hit with the sprinklers, so.
yeah.
And the ground's real wet and moist.
I just wonder if it's a little more sensitive to sun. Some dogwoods are. Just,
We're praying it's gonna
Okay,
it's gonna
yeah.
work.
but it looked great this spring, so I think it's just kind of the end of
Sad
summer
right now.
type of. I have mine at home just looks kind of shabby, but
That property used to be a mill years ago, and there's nice little surprises every now and then
Yeah.
digging in there. So you never know what's laying near.
Hmm.
I'm just saying as an example. but
Okay.
You never know what's underground on that property.
True.
okay.
So I just have one with, so Shea Point is just that where the sign is belongs to us, correct?
None of it actually belongs to
Oh,
us, but we
I mean, that we
maintain it
take
if I
care of.
remember right. Yes.
What I'm trying to say is, so I've seen a lot of comments about people are, that whole area up there is a mess. Blackberries, it needs to be painted. So is that through the Lynn County Parks?
Yeah, that's not us.
And also through the Corps of Engineers.
Okay.
Corps of
Actually
Engineers own the property
that, yeah.
through a maintenance agreement with Lynn County. They
Okay.
take care of the parks, Lake Shore Park, all the whole walkways, everything around there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
We just have the section that Welcome to Sweet Home.
Mhm.
All right. I know there's a lot of people that would like to help restore it. I mean, work on that. So I'll get a hold of Rachel and see what they can do.
There's a lot of poison oak on that trail.
Yeah.
My husband and I walk it and we're really careful when we go there.
I won't be walking it. That's it.
So last meeting, we had a robust public comment and Mr. Parker came in to discuss the community funding a honorary bench at Strawberry Park
Yep.
for Mr. Roger Sherman. Did
I
he
have,
make any outreach?
not to me, but I'm looking up costs for him. We
Okay.
kind of narrowed down
Okay.
what he wanted, and then he would discuss that with his neighborhood. So
Okay.
I will touch base with him again. I think we determined he wanted either one of the green benches that we have,
Okay.
or I think he said a concrete one, not one of the wood ones. So,
Okay.
but I will reach out to him again and see what he decided.
Because he is willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
That was a plus.
Yeah. And then we thought that, if we want to augment it with a tree, a shade tree by the bench or something, depending on where it's placed, we can do that later on.
I have one for roundtable. Adam, you want to bring up our website? So we don't have a specific box, we realized this morning, for Park and Tree Committee, but in order for you to get meeting notices, because we did update our website, you'll have to go in and we show them where to go.
Yes. So if you open this at home for the very first time, it'll actually bring this pop up onto your screen. And if you hit read more,
More.
it will take you to this page, at which point you can sign up for all the notices. So you'll have to set up an account. It's very easy. Put in your email. And then once you have that set up, so once you click on one of these things to turn it on, it'll prompt you for the account. If you hit this dark blue box, follow the directions, you can set up the account there. And then once your account is set up, you have access to all of these toggles. So the first one is email. The second one, super handy, you can get text message alerts. So you can get them to your phone. And then you can select. And I believe, Angela, did you say we're
Right
on
now-
this one?
Yeah, so, and it might be a little annoying at first, so I'm gonna talk to the administrator of this and see if we can get a Park and Tree Committee one on there. But for the time being, if you do the meeting notices, you'll get all of them. City Council, Planning Commission, you'll just get all the notices for now, but hopefully we can get, a Park and Tree Committee button on there. But for the time being, you can just click on the meeting notice one and it will send them all.
And then if for some reason it doesn't bring up that prompt,
I can't get rid of my prompt.
yeah, mine keeps popping up too. But for some reason, if it doesn't, this little red bell down here will take you to that. And then the read more. And then away you go. Like I
So-
said, and once you try to turn any of these on, it doesn't matter which one you click on over here. When you hit that little slider to turn it on, it'll prompt you to set up your account. Because if you're not signed in with no account, you can't make a selection. So once you put in your email and some very, very basic information, then you have the option. So you can select which one you want to sign up for. And you can also select which one you want to get text alerts for.
That's for everybody, the public and.
Everybody,
That's cool.
Everybody.
Nice.
public, committee members,
We had-
city councilors,
Yeah, we had it
everyone.
before, but when we had the new website, it didn't transfer all those emails over. So we're having to tell everybody you have to re-sign up for it. So
And the text alerts is new.
Yeah, that's cool. Can you go back to the, where you have on the red on the top for the phase 3 parks? I want to see what that said.
You can
I
look
mean-
at that at home.
Okay.
It's not on the agenda, sorry.
Okay.
So that's the new web. How long have you had that? It's nice looking.
It's
now?
about a month. There's still some bugs.
Yeah.
If you notice one, please email me or Cecily
Okay.
because we're poking through it as we can, but there are hundreds of sub
yeah.
pages as you go into it. So we haven't discovered every bug yet. So if you come across one, please let us know so we can address it.
Isn't that beautiful? Every time I go up on the mountain a little bit, I see how beautiful our area is. I love it.
Any other roundtable topics for the group?
Yeah, something. The apple tree at Strawberry Park. So I went to the both the Gleaner organizations we have here, Fair Share and Sugar City, and they said they would come out and take care of it, as well as anybody else's fruit trees or anything that needs to be harvested. They just need to be contacted.
Nice.
I'll take care
That's
of it.
good.
Thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order?
Very quiet.
Okay, well, good meeting, lots of information. Thank you, Counselor, for joining us this week. You've been very quiet, but we appreciate you.
He was up late with us last night too.
Okay.
Sean and Greg, all you guys are doing a great job. Always, always, always. City.
All right, well, with that, we will adjourn and see you all in September.